I decided to put the issue on hold and let her birthday pass, planning to deal with it afterward. I sent her a long, sweet birthday message, around 5 to 6 lines, through IM. In response, I received a simple thank you. After her reply, I gave her a call and offered to grab something from her favorite breakfast spot, but she declined, saying she didn't want anything and was going back to sleep. This made me feel like she didn't want to interact with me, so I didn't push it further. Later, she texted me, quite upset, accusing me of not making any effort for her that day. That night, we had a FaceTime call where I listened to why she felt the way she did, and I apologized for how things turned out. I explained why I acted the way I did, but it didn't seem to help much. The next day, I received a series of long texts from her, explaining how she had talked to her sister and felt like I was trying to manipulate her. She expressed that I had tried to blame her for the way things unfolded. I didn't want her to feel that way, and I didn't want it to seem like I was blaming her for anything. I had only tried to talk about how I felt. I've apologized and acknowledged that I misinterpreted her expectations. Even aside from the issue with the flowers, I started to wonder how to express my feelings in a way that doesn't come across as blaming someone else. Ultimately, we had another conversation, and I ended the relationship. I approached the breakup by focusing on how we weren't compatible with each other's communication styles. I wanted to keep things civil, as we share some small social circles in terms of careers and friends, and I didn't want to create unnecessary tension. At certain points, she tried to turn the discussion into an argument, but I made it clear that I wasn't there to argue or work things out. I explained that I didn't think we would be able to handle disagreements well in the future, so it was best to end things. I appreciate all the comments and support from others. I know many people mention terms like manipulation, gaslighting, and emotional invalidation in their advice. While I tried to keep my updates neutral and not let emotions influence them, I did experience those feelings. Now, I just feel relieved, which speaks volumes. There's more to the story, though. I didn't include this in the original post because I was emotionally drained and didn't feel like typing it out at the time, but what really sealed the deal was how she responded to my last effort to make things better. After the conversation with her sister, I replied to her text about manipulation with something like, "I see you and hear what you're saying. I had no intention of making you feel that way, and I'm sorry I did." Her response was, "I'm sorry that you did too," and then she mentioned going to take a nap. Later that day, I texted her again to ask if she was free, and after 3 hours, she simply replied, "No, but I can drop some stuff off if you want." At this point, I had been running around, gathering all of her favorite foods and treats and writing a card. I dropped them off and went back home, only to receive texts like, "If you want the pastries, please take them back," and, "I'm so confused, was this supposed to make anything better? You hardly looked at me." At this point, I was done. I replied, "I know I'm not perfect, but I'm not going to be told I'm not trying when I am. When I do try, I can't handle it when only my mistakes are acknowledged." After that, she made a small attempt to be understanding, thanking me for the gifts and saying she didn't mean to imply I wasn't trying. To me, though, it felt like she only made that attempt because it seemed like I was finally done. In any case, it's over now, and it's time for me to move on. I don't think she physically cheated, as many in the comments suggested, but at this point, I don't care. All I hope is that I've learned what to look for in the future and that I'll find someone more compatible with me. Update. Before I continue, I already know I shouldn't have gotten back with this girl. About 4 months ago, I made a post about the situation with my now ex, which involved her receiving flowers from an ex hand-delivered at midnight on her birthday. There were manipulative and gaslighting behaviors, and I eventually ended the relationship because of that. About a week later, we talked again, and she took accountability for everything and apologized. I decided to give her a second chance, but I didn't update my post then because I was embarrassed at my lack of self-respect. Looking back, I wish I had never done that. We've since broken up again, and this time, there will be no more chances. She got physical with me, and that was the final straw. Emotionally, I'm a bit of a mess right now. She hit me hard in bed, and I haven't been able to sleep well since. I think about that moment every time I go to bed. We're both PhD students and work in the same building, so I dread going in for meetings or work because I fear running into her. What makes it worse is that she told her friends, who are also my friends, that she hit me by accident. However, after she hit me, she said she'd never forgive me if I did the same to her, and she sent me a text saying she understood whatever I decided to do, acknowledging she had ruined our relationship. Yet, when it came time to break up, she argued that she believed in the 3-strike rule and was upset that one mistake had ended the relationship. This has really messed with my head, especially since her responses don't align with an accidental hit. To those who find themselves in similar toxic situations, if you leave, stay gone. There's nothing to gain by going back.